This is a 12-ton, 20-foot-long autonomous tank capable of maneuvering any kind of off-road terrain all on its own. And it's just one of the many autonomous military vehicles in development. As tensions with foreign powers continue to rise, and the threat of another invasion looms, the US is moving away from building bigger and badder weapons, opting instead for a new generation of war machines that are smaller, tactical, and powered by artificial intelligence, leading to significant ethical and safety concerns. Should we be worried about weapons that can think for themselves? This is the Racer Heavy tank. The 12-ton tank is considered small compared to the US's M10 Booker, which at 42 tons is considered a light tank. While the M10 is run by a crew of 4, the Racer Heavy utilizes its many sensors and cameras to steer past obstacles effortlessly at speeds of up to 30 miles an hour. The signature glowing green eyes are actually an indicator to signal that the tank is on and in autonomy mode. DARPA has been developing the Racer program for 20 years and has now reached a point where they can drop any of their tanks and ATVs into a brand new environment and watch them breeze through the terrain day or night. While the Racer Heavy is still in prototype phase, the vision is to have a fleet of unmanned combat vehicles that can handle dangerous roles like scouting, resupplying, or even paving the way forward with firepower before troops move in to reduce the risk to American lives. As the threat of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan looms, the sea may become the most important battlefield of all. Enter the Manta Ray. Developed by Northrop Grumman, the Manta Ray drone is designed for long-duration underwater missions that can be carried out at depths deemed unsafe for humans. When the Manta Ray isn't conducting surveillance or carrying out attacks, it has the ability to anchor itself to the sea floor and enter a low-power operating mode to avoid enemy detection and conserve energy. It's also able to deploy a tethered device that converts ocean currents into electricity to recharge its batteries. Last year, it was reported that China now has the largest navy in the world, primarily due to their unmatched manufacturing capabilities. The Manta Ray ushers in a new era of US naval warfare that's opting to develop the stealth bombers of the sea instead of large destroyers vulnerable to attack. While the Manta Ray patrols the seas, autonomous fighter jets are taking to the skies. This is the X-62A Vista, a modified F-16 fighter jet powered by AI with the full maneuvering and dogfighting capabilities of a human pilot. During a recent training mission, the X-62 engaged in close quarters combat at speeds of up to 1,200 miles an hour against a human pilot. The X-62 is currently flown with safety pilots on board who have the ability to disengage the AI at any point for safety reasons. However, 21 test flights and counting, they have yet to intervene. This development is an early look at the Air Force's brand new Collaborative Combat Aircraft program, an initiative that calls for AI-powered crafts that can fly alongside human pilots. Much like the Racer Heavy, these crafts will scout ahead and provide aerial support to humans in the skies, once again reducing the risk to human life. One of the early surprises of the program is the Air Force's decision to award the development funds to 2 smaller private defense contractors, General Atomics and Anduril, instead of the usual suspects like Boeing and Lockheed Martin. Anduril has been making huge waves in defense since it was founded in 2017 by Palmer Luckey. Don't let the Hawaiian shirts fool you. Luckey is the former founder and CEO of Oculus, which he sold to Facebook in 2014 for $2 billion, and has built Anduril up to be one of the most cutting-edge companies in the world. Anduril's key product offering is an AI-based software system called Lattice, which functions as an intelligent command center that controls a distributed network of drones. Lattice utilizes multiple points of data, computer vision, and machine learning to produce a digital representation of the battlefield. It highlights where the bad guys are, where the good guys are, and suggests the next best move, which can be executed in just a couple clicks. Lattice is the foundation that all of their hardware is then built to work alongside. Everything from smart rockets to fighter jets to submarines. Anduril offers a potential shift in the way that the government sources its weapons. One that Palmer Luckey says is sorely needed if we're going to go toe-to-toe with China.
We live in a world where 80% of weapons procurement goes to just 5 companies. Most contracts that the DoD gives out are what's called a cost-plus contract. You get paid for time, materials, hours, and then a fixed percentage of profit on top. Because that profit is a plus, a lot of vendors are incentivized for the cost portion to be as large as possible as well. They can often make more money when something takes longer than it was supposed to. They can often make more money when they sell a solution that's more expensive rather than a solution that's less expensive.
So while the US is spending more on defense than any other country, they aren't necessarily getting as much bang for the buck as other countries like China. In anticipation of a fight in the Pacific, the Chinese military-industrial complex has surpassed the US's capabilities to replace warships during ongoing conflict. The US recognizes how much of a disadvantage this puts them in, so in August of 2023, the Defense Department announced the Replicator Initiative. The initiative calls for the rapid manufacturing of thousands of affordable unmanned drones powered by AI, allowing for weapons that are easy to replace and can be used in more strategically risky ways. The idea is that a swarm of drones could overpower Chinese defenses. What about the potential risks to putting AI in weapons? Is it smart to make weapons that can think for themselves? Luckey has been very outspoken on the topic and says that the use of self-governing weapons isn't new for the US military.
The U.S. government's been deploying autonomous weapons like radar-seeking missiles and missiles that can differentiate between targets for decades now. Look at something like a C-RAM or a C-Wiz, the automated guns that are protecting our bases and our ships from incoming mortar fire, incoming artillery fire, incoming missile and rocket fire. Those are autonomous weapons. They're making decisions about what to shoot down and what to not without a person manually deciding what to do beyond deciding to turn on the system and allow it to engage targets, period. Because I don't think there's any moral high ground in making, let's say, a landmine that can't tell the difference between a school bus full of children and a Russian tank column. I think that it is good for it to be able to decide when to pull the trigger as long as a person is taking responsibility for that employment and whatever goes wrong in the end.
It's clear that AI will play a huge role in the future of warfare. There will be AI on AI dogfights, which means that the training of these algorithms becomes just as important as the hardware they're controlling. And we've already seen glimpses of the autonomous weapons that our rivals are working on. While we have no idea what the long-term consequences will be of infusing our best weapons with artificial intelligence, we do know that if we don't begin developing these weapons now, we could put ourselves at a disadvantage in the next fight. As the old saying goes, peace means having a bigger stick than the other guy. When it comes to war, that's the game.